I'm going to tie a black nose dace, and I'm starting with a size 4 streamer hook in the vise, and the thread that I'll use is a 70 black, and I'll start my thread at maybe the 3/4 mark in the hook shank, take a couple of wraps, and once it's secure, remove the tag. I'm going to tie all my materials into the front of this pattern so that I can keep the body as slim as possible. And so the first is the tag or the tail, and this is going to be made up of a red yarn. It comes thicker than I'd like, so I split it in half so that I've got a sleeker profile to this. I'm going to tie this in again at the front with a couple of wraps. And then I can tie in my body material, and for that I'm going to use a silver tinsel, and I like the two-sided tinsel. On one side it's silver, on the other side it's gold. So if you're just tying with silver tinsel, you don't have to worry about it, but if you have the two-sided, tie it opposite of what you think. So I'll tie it with the gold side up, so that when I wrap it, it'll reverse and be silver side. So now what I'm doing is I'm pinching the material and drawing it tight and taking my wraps down to maybe about the barb in the hook. And when I work my way back up, I'll try to compress as much of this material as I can with side-by-side wraps. The more attention you pay to the underbody, the smoother your tinsel will wrap. And so with the underbody wrapped tight, I can start to work my tinsel through. So I'll take side-by-side wraps, or maybe slightly overlapping, and when I get to my thread, I'll tie it off. And then trim. And I'm also going to clean up the tail at this point, and I want it to be maybe a smidge longer than the overall length in the hook. And so now that I've got the body wrapped, I can work on the wing, and this will come in 3 stages of bucktail. The first of which is going to be white. I'm not going to stack the bucktail, but I'll pull it off at a 90-degree angle so that I get the tips as aligned as possible. And then I just weed some of this out. So I'll hold it by the tip, or maybe the 2/3 mark, and when I pull through, then that'll knock out some of those short pieces. And you'll want to pay attention to the volume of the tip as opposed to the base. This looks like you've got a lot, but as you get to the tip, it's relatively sparse. I'm going to measure this out so that it falls at the end of the tag, or maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm going to tie this in with a pinch grip. So I'm holding it with my left hand. I'll bring the thread up through. I'll take a complete wrap around the material, and then I'll pull straight down. And what this does, as you stack these, will keep them separated. And so once I've got a couple of wraps in, I'll cut it at an angle. And finish tying it down. And now each time you add bucktail, it's going to add volume to that head. So the next piece of material is a black bucktail, and I'll have the same process here. So I'll remove clump, hold it at the top, maybe 2/3 mark to knock out those little bits. And if there's any really long ones, I'll take those out too. I'll hold it against, I want it to be the same length as my white, and I'll take a wrap completely around and pull it straight down. Once I've gotten a couple wraps in to secure it, I'll trim at an angle and finish wrapping in the butt sections. And you can see now how it's created that separation between colors. The final piece of bucktail is a brown, and so I'll take off a section of brown bucktail and go through the same process. I'll set it on top at the same length. Take my wrap around, pull straight down, and then I can trim at an angle, and now I can finish building out my head. And then whip finish. And trim, and then the final step is to apply your favorite head cement. And I'm going to use some Sally Hansen's on this. And that is a black-nosed dace.